Hi all and welcome to the Ulti Show special edition from the World Games in Poland, and another special guest for you here today. Here is Nob Rauch, President of WFDF. We're going to talk about all kinds of things today. We're going to talk about WFDF, of course, but we're here at the World Games, aren't we? And
we are indeed.
It's a very interesting event. We've got 6 teams here playing at the highest level. I mean, what is the World Games and how does it fit into kind of the global schedule of tournaments for flying disc?
Sure, the World Games have been around since 1981. They're held on a quadrennial basis, and there's, I believe, 37 different sports that are part of the International World Games Association. Here at this year's edition of the World Games, there are 31 sports that are featured, of which flying disc or ultimate is one of them. We first became a part of the World Games program in 2001, and so this is our 5th time here. The World Games really started off as an alternative for sports to have a multi-sports program if they weren't in the Olympic program. And this, back in in '81, it was a pretty novel thing. And not too much later than that, the IOC sort of accepted a responsibility to sort of oversee what they were doing. And just a couple of years ago, there was actually a formal MOU signed between the IOC and the IWGA to formalize the relationship. The Olympic movement basically is looking to strengthen their ties with the World Games as a showcase for sports that largely have been recognized by the IOC and are a potential sport to participate in the Olympic program. And so with the formalization of that arrangement, I think it's really quite an honor to be here, and it also gives us an opportunity to showcase ourselves in the eyes of the Olympic movement participants as well as the world.
Absolutely, and you talk about showcasing the sport. We've certainly seen some amazing games, some amazing athleticism so far, and we're not the only ones because some officials have actually come to watch the game as well. People who are working at a very high level in some of the committees and haven't watched the game before. So you've sat with them. What are they saying? What's their reaction? Are they liking what they see?
Yeah, the fun thing about this is that it's really a showcase to introduce your sport to those who may not have seen it before. And so we have had a number of visitors. That's one of the duties I have while here is to sit down and really explain the game to people who may not be so familiar with it, or even those who are a little bit familiar with it, just to make sure that they're enjoying themselves while they're here. We've had some quite distinguished visitors. Kip McConnell, who's head of the sports department of the IOC, actually spent about an hour with us yesterday, along with his one of his department members, Jenny Mann. And Kit had not seen ultimate before, or flying disc, and so this was really his first introduction. Kit oversees the Olympic Games themselves, as well as all of the international federations, both those who are a part of the Olympic program and the recognized federations that are not yet a part of the program. And so having him here, having him see it was quite a lot of fun. We brought over a couple of the Aussie athletes to be able to provide him with an athlete's perspective, which he really appreciated because he's a former athlete himself. He got his start actually with rugby, in the administration of rugby in the day. So, he's been with a federation that has gone the entire route of being a sport with world championships to being a part of the World Games and now to be a part of the Olympic program. Wow. So I thought it was a really great meeting.
Yeah.
We've had a variety of other meetings. So the local dignitaries, the head of the Polish Olympic Committee came by. Rena Sawinski, who is a former 3-time gold medalist and one of the most famous Olympians in Poland, came by this afternoon. Absolutely. And we had a great chat.
And we had an honor of actually speaking to her very briefly. So don't forget, guys, you can watch some of those highlights also on the WFDF channel. Really great to speak to her, Rena.
And then finally, many of the other International Federation presidents, secretary generals, and other staffers have been coming by to really see what the other sports are about. And we'll obviously be doing the exact same once we get through our first days of the competition here, as we are at the beginning of the program. Yeah. So it's just a great way to introduce your sport to a lot of people who may have heard a little bit about it but really don't know what it's all about. The good news is when people see ultimate and they see the disc in the air, they find it really, really exciting and interesting, and to a T. And so that's been fun to be able to get people out to see the competition, to see the quality of the athletes and the athleticism, their ability to throw and catch the disc. And so all that's been very positive.
That's really wonderful, and it's great to see all those kind of high-level or former athletes, but officials here, definitely.
Exactly.
So one final question I have actually was put to me by someone else who's also watching here. They were saying, what do people like Nob do behind closed doors at these kind of events? What are the VIPs up to when they're having these breakfasts and these lunches? I mean, are you guys, hanging out, having some tea, or what else is going on behind there?
Well, there's with all of these events, it's an opportunity to get together with the other people who are going through many of the same issues as we are. And so it's an opportunity to really share ideas, to be able to communicate, and to be able to build relationships, which are very important. For better or for worse, the world of sport has its own politics, and being able to work with other people is exceedingly important. Right. And so we have a variety of official functions, such as a welcome breakfast with the IOC. At that breakfast, we had an opportunity to listen to President Bach, who gave a private-only 30-minute speech talking about the challenges he sees the world of sport facing these days, especially in a world that seems increasingly polarized, increasingly unsafe, and the role that sport has to make sure that people maintain a dialogue and understand the importance of that. He talked about the challenges of protecting the clean athletes with anti-doping, which is obviously continues to be a very important push for the IOC through WADA. And so we're able to really get a much more personal viewpoint on some of the things that those at the top are thinking. We've had a variety of different meetings on a one-on-one basis with many of the other heads of IFs, where we can share thoughts on some of the challenges we all face in terms of trying to develop the sport. How do you introduce it in countries in Africa, for example, with all the challenges of geography, resources, and the like. And so those kinds of meetings are exceedingly important. We don't have that many opportunities to get together. We do have one annual convention where all sports do get together called Sport Accord. And so we are a faithful attendant to that, and there things are even done on a more formalized basis. But here, really, it's sitting down, with the heads of the IWGA, being able to speak about what's going on with the World Games itself, to be able to speak with those who are part of ARIS, which is the Association for Recognized Sports. And then we actually had our formal meeting with the IOC as well to go through and just give them an update on how we're doing, and to make sure they understand our aspirations for potential participation in the games one of these days. We do have the selection for the 2024 and 2028 Olympics coming on September 13th of this year at the IOC meetings in Lima. And so at that point in time, we'll be able to sort of get a better picture for what the path might be towards introducing our sport into the process and trying to see if we can get consideration for inclusion.
Very exciting stuff. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us, Nob. There
Very
you heard
good, thanks.
Guys. That was the exclusive behind the scenes of what VIPs like Nob are doing and the important work that's going on with the whole, sporting community around the world, actually. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Don't forget, guys, you can actually ask lots of questions using the hashtag #TheUltiShow and watch lots of highlights on the WFDF YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.